they gave people the so-called control or power of a narrative that would matter, and it doesn't really matter. I don't care what people tell me or what they say after this. I don't care. Just tune in, just watch. That's it. Just tune in, watch, see the fight, and you could go from there. But I can't stop, and I'm just not going to stop at what I'm going for.
I want people to know I'm the best. That's my main objective. I'm here for the best versus the best. I called on Teofimo for this fight to happen because I wanted to prove myself and prove how great that I am. So come fight night, like I said, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure I come out victorious, but I want to prove how great I am. Like, I want the world to see the greatness within my skill set, the boxer that I am. Like, after we get out the ring, I want everybody to be talking about it. Like, yeah, I'm that guy.
You're not gonna get that all the time. If you go for people's expectations, if you go for people's expectations on what you're gonna get after that, you're gonna always be disappointed.
Would Teofimo knock out Shakur? No. Can Teo adjust to the point where he beats Shakur? Yeah. You don't see how? Shakur hates slick and economic boxers.
I think Shakur beats him.
Yeah.
But the weight, again, right? Don't forget, Teofimo's a big 140.
Yeah.
Shakur is probably a small 135.
Teofimo is in trouble. Boxing experts are sounding the alarm ahead of the big January 31st clash, warning that Shakur Stevenson could hand Teofimo Lopez a devastating KO. Shakur's precision, timing, and ring IQ might just be too much for Teo to handle.
I would honestly say 60-40 for Shakur because he's that sharp, he's that good defensively and offensively.
According to highly talented boxer Brooke Mullen, Shakur Stevenson has the advantage over Teofimo Lopez due to his defensive skills and strategic approach to boxing. Mullen feels Shakur will spend the early rounds figuring out how to combat Lopez's style, using his jab and footwork. Shakur's defensive prowess and ability to execute accurate punches will prevent Lopez from using his advantages in speed and athleticism against him, allowing Shakur to defeat Lopez decisively.
Who you like in that fight?
Shakur.
Of course.
I think Teofimo's fast, he's athletic, but Shakur is definitely way more calculated. And the calculation can stop that speed on any given day, 100%. And he's definitely, I don't think he's going to necessarily stop Teofimo, but he's going to box his head off in circles.
Some people think that this is going to be Shakur's hardest fight. Some people look at the athleticism, the explosiveness, the counterpunching, and that Teo raises his level when he's in there with somebody at the top level. Why do you think that it won't look like that?
I think at first he's gonna play it cool the first couple of rounds until he figures him out, and then, like I said, I think he's gonna dance around him.
However, Teo's former opponent Jermaine Ortiz said Shakur Stevenson will win the fight against Teofimo Lopez. Ortiz said Shakur Stevenson will win the fight against Teofimo Lopez. Ortiz believes that it will be a competitive matchup with both fighters at their best. Teofimo will have difficulty hitting Shakur due to Shakur's speed and range, unless Teofimo can find a way to constantly corner him.
I think it's a good matchup. I think Shakur will win the fight. And yeah, I think we'll see the best of both that night.
Based on his experience from fighting Teofimo Lopez, Jermaine Ortiz said that nothing Teofimo did in their fight surprised him because he had already seen it all during training. Using that knowledge, Jermaine Ortiz feels that Teofimo will have difficulty hitting Shakur with clean shots, and that Shakur is the clear favorite to win the fight.
Shakur, and he will struggle with Shakur's style, like based off of, I guess, of your fight.
Yeah, hopefully during training camp they learn how to cut off the ring. We'll see. I think yeah, I don't, it's gonna be hard for Teofimo to get in some punches off on Shakur, but we'll see.
The uncertainty shown by Greg Hackett was a result of what Teofimo was doing in the training camp. He indicated Teofimo was the winner, but yet praised Teofimo and spoke about the fact that he was a big moment fighter and could win. He stated that Teofimo was hard to predict, and therefore predicting was harder to do with him. Boxing is a game of uncertainty, but with that being said, Hackett has respect and support for Lopez, but continues to pick Shakur for the night of the fight.
That still is a good fighter. You know what I mean? Strong, fast, you know what I mean? Explosive, unpredictable, and he can hurt you. And every time he's had to step up, he really did step up. You know what I mean? But besides the Cambosis fight, but he stepped up. So I think Shakur. Yeah, my first mind tells me Shakur, and I thought about it. Yeah, I'm picking Shakur by decision, but because this is fighting, anything can happen. You can't count Teo out.
Supporting the matchup between Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez, Jamel Herring says the matchup will showcase both fighters' respective skill sets at their peak. Facing Shakur, who represents true competition, is an opportunity for Lopez to peak, and he will benefit financially by facing someone who brings a legitimate threat to him. Lopez also pointed out that fighters must remain active and prepared rather than waiting long periods of time for possible fights.
My man Teo got to get back in there, you know what I'm saying? Because he looked good against Barbosa, but like, okay, what's next? You know what I'm saying? We see how Shakur looked against Cepeda, and right now Shakur's on a hot streak right now after that performance. So of course he wants to move up to take Teo's belt. So I think it's a good matchup. Teo, like I said, I think Teo fights at his best on the opposition in front of him. You know what I mean? Because you'll see Teo, he'll have a lukewarm performance, and then he'll fight a guy, you know what I'm saying, like a Josh Taylor or Lomachenko, and he'll bring out a whole new arsenal, and he's, you know what I'm saying, from bell to bell every fight. You know what I'm saying?
Adding on, Oscar Valdez shared his own experience of being in the ring with Shakur Stevenson and described him as a very strong fighter. He stated that Shakur is usually not understood by his opponents when they first get in the ring, but through their fight realize who he really is. He also pointed out that Teofimo has been putting in the same amount of effort and intensity into this training camp and feels that with that level of commitment and hard work, anything is possible.
He's a hard guy to hit. You know, it's it looks very simple, but it's not. But I've seen Teofimo train before. He's a complete athlete. So if I'm being very honest, man, it's a 50-50 fight. It's a stay away bet for me. I wouldn't bet either or because you never know what's gonna happen on that chess game because that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be a chess game inside that ring.
So whoever wins this fight, who should they fight next? Somebody at 140? Should Shakur stay there? You think he stays there and facing somebody there?
While Lopez presses forward, Stevenson is likely to control the pace, frustrate his opponent, and capitalize on mistakes. But Andre Ward said that Shakur has a better understanding of the game and a sharper mind. Ward thinks Shakur can change levels throughout the fight, giving him the advantage, while Teofimo finds it difficult when forced to step outside his comfort zone. However, Rob Acosta hit the nail on the head with his comments about the fight being between two elite fighters when they're at their peak. It will be the fighter who can properly execute their timing, strategy, and discipline on the night who ultimately wins.
Teo knows it's going to be a real fight. Shakur knows it's going to be a real fight. And I look at Shakur like a fighter who has a blank canvas. He's got the IQ, he got the experience, and the athleticism, and the skill set where he can paint any type of picture he wants to on a blank canvas. When I look at Teofimo Lopez, he's almost that. He has a blank canvas, but he needs an outline on what to draw and what to paint inside the line.
From the opening bell, both will test each other's reactions, looking for weaknesses to exploit in later rounds. Paulie is giving credit to both Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez for their willingness to fight against each other. He mentions that Shakur is actively searching for the biggest fights and the biggest names out there, while Teofimo tends to have a wild side at times. Although Paulie would like to see these two boxers battle it out, he expresses concern that other boxers in the division receive accolades too easily. Both Shakur and Teofimo are taking significant chances by agreeing to this fight, and Paulie believes that deserves a lot of respect for their efforts.
You never know with Teo. I can't give you my take that Teo's definitely going to fight. I can't because anything's going to happen. But I think Shakur would want it. If you tell me if it's based on Shakur wanting it or not, I'll say, all right, this is going to happen because Shakur Stevenson has been wanting the big fights. He's been wanting the big names already. Not that Teo doesn't, but Teo is flies off the handle. If he doesn't take a fight, it's because he flew off the handle. I don't know, so I can't predict which way he's going to go. But I like the fight. I just don't like that, somebody's going to have to get criticized while other guys in this weight class fight Uber drivers and get nothing but praise. So that's the only thing I that scares me here, because these are...
Meanwhile, Rob Acosta stated that he thinks this matchup will exceed the expectations fans have of it, and refers to the fight as a true clash of two elite-level fighters who are competing in their respective primes. Furthermore, he expressed that the eventual victor of the match will come down to which combatant can implement their timing, game plan, and strategy more effectively throughout the fight.
I think Shakur's defense is high caliber, and his IQ is also high caliber. So it's a really good matchup, because it's kind of like Teo brings, he can either, depending how he fights Shakur, he can either make it a tough night or he can make it an easy night for Shakur.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing goes for Shakur. Shakur can try to stay on the ropes the whole time, or he can utilize his legs and box circles around Teo. We don't know.
As Shakur Stevenson is busy with his preparations in the gym, his sparring partner Nahil Albright immediately stated that he would be backing him to win on January 31st. Once the fight gets underway, Albright expects the odds to turn in favor of Shakur. He also warned that should Teofimo Lopez not execute to perfection, Lopez could be in for the sort of disappointment that happens to most who compete against an elite athlete.
Oh yeah, that's a hell of a fight. I'm gonna go with Shakur. I think Shakur, I don't know. He just gonna win. I just know Shakur gonna win. He gonna, yeah. Cause I feel like Jermaine Ortiz gave Teo some problems, right, with their angles and stuff like that. And Shakur defense is a next level.
On the other side, British professional Conor Benn is backing Teofimo to win. He said Shakur is extremely talented, but because of Shakur's evasive movement style, there are openings. Conor believes that based on those openings, Teo will know exactly when and how to attack with intention. Although Conor acknowledges that Shakur can win if he executes flawlessly, he believes that Teofimo is the clear betting favorite, supporting the idea that this will be an important match in both quality and excitement terms, since precision and power will be key to the fight.
He literally looks like Jerry to me. I just realised, yeah, he is Jerry.
So you think Teo wins?
I was like calling him Jerry from now. Who's Shakur?
You think Teo wins, honestly?
I do, but not discrediting Shakur at all. I think he's a phenomenal fighter, but I just think Teo has more explosiveness, more zap, and more spite. And he's tricky as well.
Tim Bradley is again predicting a comfortable win for Shakur Stevenson when he fights Teofimo Lopez on January 31st. Bradley says Stevenson's movement and technical control will be too much, and that Lopez's only path to victory is forcing Stevenson to the ropes and working the body. It is the same assessment Bradley has offered repeatedly since August. This is now at least the 5th time he has made the prediction, using nearly identical reasoning. Bradley said he expects a distance fight and believes Stevenson will win without serious trouble. He did not identify any weaknesses in Stevenson's game, nor did he explain how Lopez might realistically change the shape of the fight beyond general pressure. Bradley suggested Stevenson will use movement to drain Lopez and control the pace. If that approach materializes, the reaction inside Madison Square Garden could be mixed. New York crowds have historically shown little patience for long, low-action fights built around lateral movement. Stevenson's bout with Edwin de los Santos remains a recent reference point. That fight relied heavily on mobility and avoidance, and it was met with audible frustration from the crowd. A similar performance against Lopez would likely produce the same response. Lopez, for his part, has consistently said he expects Stevenson to engage more than he did in that fight. Whether that proves realistic is unclear. Stevenson has tended to default to safety once he establishes a lead. Heading into fight night, Teofimo Lopez has transformed heavy bag training into an advanced study of striking. His punches all have intention behind them. He adds speed and explosiveness to every punch he throws. He's working on blending power, precision, control, and movement together at once. Thus, every session becomes a complete, sharpened up experience. Training for Shakur Stevenson has pushed Teofimo Lopez to his peak physical limits. All of his workouts are extremely intense, combining speed, strength, and accuracy in order to prepare to throw powerful punches and combinations when they meet. Therefore, he has been hitting heavy bags, using a variety of types of drills to gain speed and muscle memory. Thus, he continues to be fast and powerful with almost limitless endurance, while also focusing on perfect timing with each shot he throws. Lopez has made his constant swings around the bag into a statement of what the world should expect from him, as not only does each swing improve his speed, endurance, and confidence, but you can see how serious Lopez is about unleashing the mayhem on fight day.
That's how I work out with my wife. Oh shit.
It has also allowed Shakur to practice using movement, his jab, and sharp counterpunches to slow down people who try to pressure him. Training with Keyshawn allows Shakur to learn to deal with the speed and intensity that will come with his fight against Lopez, and to improve the precision and defensive skills that he will use for the fight. Shakur Stevenson's training camp was extremely hard and demanding due to the fact that he is preparing to fight one of the most explosive fighters that he will ever face. Each day of training is focused on speed and intensity. He has sparred for very long and hard rounds in order to build his cardio fitness. The training has included a great deal of footwork drills that keep him light on his feet, balanced, and constantly moving. To the physical demands of the training camp, Shakur has also had to put in a mental effort. He has focused on being patient, disciplined, and timing while training to determine when to engage and when to take control of the ring with the fighters he has trained with. There has been a large emphasis on defense, learning to slip, roll, and stay behind his shoulder, as this is important when fighting against a fast and powerful opponent like Teofimo Lopez. One mistake could cost him the fight. Shakur Stevenson has been training with Keyshawn Davis to work on the speed and aggression similar to what he expects from Teofimo Lopez. The training has focused on high-level sparring sessions designed to develop timing and control of the ring.
Champ! For that work, champ! Teo! Nah, get your ass up! Get your ass up!
As January 31st approaches, the tension around Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez keeps rising. Boxing pros called it precision versus power and patience versus explosive fight. Two elite-level boxers have chosen vastly different paths to arrive here, but only one of them is going to leave that ring with the title belt. Now you get to be the judge or juror for the next 90 minutes or so. Will Shakur's superior defense, timing, and IQ give him the advantage as he systematically breaks Teofimo down over their 12 rounds of action? Or will Teofimo's superior hand speed, athleticism, and unorthodox fighting style produce another huge moment and send shockwaves throughout the boxing universe?